You. Every session is going to go through a couple of different facets of the company, but in terms of what I first want you to understand, I want you to understand how the company came about. Our history is a very important part of our future, and it's a very important part of why we do what we do. So Nicole's heard a little bit of this, I think. So you'll go through it again. Well, how many times?
I
don't want to be doing this.
I trained when Lindsay first started. This is my
See, this is the goal. I don't want to have to redo all the training.
No, it's okay.
Right. Okay. All right. So I will make it brief, but one of the things that's important to know is my history and my background. I started this company really mostly out of a necessity and a desire to produce something fresh to the market. Okay, I was doing PR in New York. I never really thought I was even going to start a PR agency. I did fashion PR in New York. I went to FIT. I studied textile design. I did PR for Burberry, Charles Worthington Hair Care. Before that, I was a slaving intern, okay? And I didn't work for any dollars, just exactly how our intern program is. I worked for Bazaar magazine in the accessories department. I organized the shoes by color. I photographed the jewelry. I got 20,000 coffees. I got mocha latte, chocolate, every single kind of latte you could possibly think of for very, very snobby editors, and I did it with a smile. And that's really, it's part of, the New York work mentality. If you want to make it in PR and fashion, you got to have a thick skin. And that is something that we definitely expect here. It's something that I've learned, throughout the years. It's something I expect people to just understand if they come here to the company. We may be in South Florida, but we work on a New York minute. And anyone that's ever worked in any kind of, very fast-paced market knows that you just, it's all about performance. So I moved here 13 years ago. Simon was a day trader at the time. He had an office on Wall Street, very high-stress position. A lot of his traders, he didn't own the office, but his office had opened an office here in Boca Raton. We moved here just for a year, and basically I said, we fell in love with the weather, and I didn't want to leave until I really understood the market. I worked for a PR company for 3 years called Transmedia Group. It's just down the street, actually. And they really specialized in communication. In New York, I did fashion PR. Fashion PR is completely different than the type of PR that we do here. And I think that the range of PR that we do here is really interesting because I did get experience in understanding corporate PR, and there's all different facets of PR. Fashion PR is about just promoting a product. If your product sucks, good luck, because it's all about the product. If it looks ugly, it's not going in a newspaper unless you think of something creative. And most of the times, again, if you think of something creative, great. But the type of PR that I wanted to do, and the reason that the company came about, I came into this market and I just felt that it was very boring. I felt that I really believed in the younger demographic, the 25 to 45-year-old. I felt that if I was going to go to one more boring wine and cheese, I was going to shoot myself. And I really wanted to show people, I felt that there was a real lack of style here in South Florida. And Boca Raton specifically. I came from Madison Avenue PR, and I came from the birth of, cultural identity and fashion dictation. And I just felt like there was something that was really off here in terms of people not knowing the impact that style made on marketing and branding, etc. One of the secrets of my success was the fact that I was a very hard worker. I knew nobody. I knew nobody when I came to Boca Raton. And I literally had one goal in mind when I had started one of my first projects, which is really how I got known on the market. I worked for 3 years. My office situation had changed. I got pregnant with my first child. I didn't have maternity leave. I took maternity leave, working maternity leave. Didn't matter. Ownership changed, and basically Simon said to me, "You know what, Michelle? If you can take none of your clients with you, even though I didn't have a non-compete, get 3 of your own clients, you can start your own company." If I wanted to really start my own company, and if it was all about me, I would have named it Michelle Sudre Public Relations. I'm not about the ego, I'm actually about the team. I actually created the Gab Group and the name the Gab Group because I believed that the power of a team was greater than the power of one. And I really wanted to create an environment that I felt was lacking in the marketplace. I was always the youngest person working for any company that I worked at. I was a very hard and dedicated worker. I didn't take anything that I didn't earn, and I didn't ask for anything I didn't deserve. And I just believed in creating a company that would really cater to an employee that was really dedicated. And so I said, well, if I can get a really creative group of people together that are really great at what they do, that love working hard, that have a dedication and a passion for excellence, I could put a really good team together. And obviously, by having worked in the business, I realized that I had a very special talent. And one of those talents was really thinking out of the box. And it's the power of a great idea. So my first idea, and this is really how we got known in this marketplace, and so much of the business that we have today is because of what we've done for 13 years now, was I saw a restaurant called Bova. We worked with them 3 months before we even broke ground, basically, on the concept. And I swore to myself that I knew there were other people my age in Boca Raton that had no place to party. And I said I couldn't wait for the day where the guy in the Bentley next to me was going to be under 70. And I basically said, I'm going to make this the hottest restaurant in Boca Raton. I didn't have a rule book, I didn't have a playbook, I wasn't doing things the normal way. I wasn't doing the same cookie cutter stuff. I just believed in a very simple premise, that if you want to be great, if you want to be the hottest restaurant in Boca, you work backwards from that. What does the hottest restaurant in Boca look like? What kind of parties does the hottest restaurant in Boca have? What kind of people do the hottest restaurant in Boca attract? And I did the unbelievable, and I read a quote the other day that really struck me, and it was, I think it was Nelson Mandela. And I wish I could remember the exact quote, but it was basically about the fact that, it was alluding to the fact that some things may seem impossible until you do them. Okay, and I was always that kind of a person. I was always like the little engine that could. Like, you think I can't do it, I'm going to do it. You think it's not possible, I'm going to show you that it's possible. So basically, I took this one restaurant and I single-handedly, with Simon and 2 of my, interns at the time, built it from zero, literally zero, to 400 people, and built it into a $40,000 night every Thursday. I created a concept called High Society. I geared it to the 25 to 45-year-old market. I knew nobody. I picked up phone calls. I networked. I met with people. It took me 13 weeks of consecutive failure to make it the biggest thing that everybody in this town knew about, and not just in this town. I had Anderson Cooper come. I had people coming from New York. We had people coming from South Beach every single Thursday. I'm talking about every single week. We had people coming out by the blocks. Mayor Welchel, who sat here at Spirit of Giving, knows me because I struck up the city, and there was a huge lawsuit about partying outside in Boca Raton because our night became so popular that I basically took a very simple concept, but it was never done before, and I put a DJ and I conceptualized a different event. I never copycatted myself. I created new copy, etc. every single week. In fact, I'd like you to find the book when you have a chance so I can show them how the company evolved. And then I realized that, graphic design, everything, it was all about image. And I did things that were just unbelievable, even unbelievable to me, to be honest. I threw the first officially sanctioned Playboy lingerie party in Boca, like officially sanctioned by Playboy magazine. I'll show you that video. I had, for me, it was all about lifestyle experiences. I wanted to give people an experience. Our events at the Gab Group are not just parties, they're experiences. Where we build them more like movies, in the sense of it's a movie poster. It's everything has to connect. Okay, I'm really big about connection. So just as an example, so you understand where we've come from and how amazing we've evolved. This is before I had a designer. I was designing this publisher. Okay, and just so you know, if you talk to me about why I have such a steadfast work ethic, and I don't believe in people that say I can't, and I really get annoyed, and you'll see my nose flaring when somebody doesn't work as hard as I think they should be. It's because I just think that as an individual, if you're committed to what you do, you have to do it 120%. And it all makes the difference. The technique makes the difference, okay? So I even look back at this stuff and think to myself, oh my God, I don't even know how I did this, because to be honest, I was a team of one and Simon at the time, okay? And I thought of a different party every single week, and I put together a different thing. So, Arabian Nights, this was like my first, high society, joined the list. I would, always take the concept of photo comps and photograph, I was painstakingly selective in terms of I only wanted the hottest people. If I couldn't train an intern to walk away from a party and get 15 to 20 hot people, they were not an intern for me. They needed, and again, that's if you think about what Ocean Drive does and Ralph Lauren and all these people, people are brands as well. If you build it, it will come mentality is really important. There was a lot of thought that went into this in the sense of, I don't want to have men, I'd rather have more girls, because the trick of nightclub marketing is, all you have to do is focus on the women. Get the women, you'll get the guys. Don't market to men, you don't have to, there's no purpose. No, but the truth is it's true. And that was one of my competitive edges as well. I'm not necessarily a club promoter, but I always had a distaste, for, let's say, so many of the club promoters out there that are marketing like girls' night out, and they have girls in half naked, looking completely slutty, and they think that that's what's going to bring women. And for me, it was always about, classy, not trashy. I'm not going to use, a half-naked model. I mean, you're not going to see something like that come out of this company. I may do something, cutting edge or innovative or push the envelope in terms of, a concept like Amazonia, where every girl was body painted, from head to toe as a different animal for the body painter, from Sports Illustrated. But again, it's to provoke something fashionable. It's a reaction. It's different. It's tasteful, not tasteless. So every week, I basically, thought of a different concept. I mean, there was a new alcohol, great, reason for a party. There's, fashion rocks. I mean, just to put it into perspective, Goddess Night, Firefighter Night, Bova Island, let's see, Mary, where did we go? A Night in South Beach, Midnight Mojitos, Love Potion number 9. I mean, everything was, again, you're talking about having to think of, and I never copycatted myself. And I'm a big believer on that. If you notice what we do for brands, I'm very obsessive about brand voice and brand culture. You have to look at things from the perspective of the end customer. My job is to make, when you represent so many competitors in the marketplace, your whole point is to make somebody unique. So whether it's, we don't believe in using the same stock image, because that belongs to that client. A great branding campaign and a great marketing campaign and a great PR campaign, or a great integrated marketing campaign, which is really what we specialize in, should have the same message repeated in every voice. So if somebody reads an article about the hottest restaurant in town, it should say that it's the hottest restaurant in town. And if they get an invitation, it should make them be like, oh my God, I have to go to that party. That's going to be the hottest party in town. If they see it on television, everything has to connect. So again, week after week, and this was historically, and it still is, nobody's done this was a 4-year running night. So just to put things into perspective, the fact that, we took something from nothing to something major, and the fact that in a market where an average restaurant goes down, every 6 to 8 months, definitely every year, the fact that we were even able to make this restaurant live for 4 years strong with this, 400-person night is really astounding. And everybody took notice to it. It became the biggest thing in town, and it's what we became known for. Actually, Ross was a bar back in this. So here, awesome. And everybody, again, one of the things, why do I get the business that I get? Because people trust me, because I don't deliver anything other than what I promise. And that's a very big reason that I'm very, specific about we have to show these client results, because I don't put my name on something that I can't deliver on. And because I've built so much trust with so many people in this marketplace, again, It was the company that could. We became known as like the comeback kids of marketing. You have a brand that you want the hot, group for, we're gonna get it for you. And little by little, it was all really word of mouth. So I'm gonna take you back to really what I'm showing you here, because at the time I was exclusive to Bova. I only took them on as my restaurant account, and I really poured my heart and soul into this brand. And then I was still representing other companies. Then, I realized, wow, we really know, we really have a method here. And so, actually, it was Beth Landman, who was a New York Post reporter, that said to me, Michelle, I want to introduce you to somebody, I think it was KMPR in New York. She's like, because you can't just do this for one restaurant. They represent 25 restaurants. And really that's when, she opened up my mind about, okay, working for, opening it up. But it was my, it was my passion initially. So essentially what happened out of high society, oh wait, it's YouTube, right? Was what we call Gab VIP. So our agency is very different, very, very different, in the sense of we're more than just a PR agency or marketing agency. In fact, to the public, most people will tell you that they think that we're just a special event agency because we've done so many special events in this town. Where is the...
Is it the Bova and erotic on the bottom?
It's not that actually, but hold on a second. Where's the old ones? How do you get? Oh, wait, more. It has to be here. Do you see like Playboy?
I saw Jacqueline's stuff.
Am I missing it?
You can do Control F and type in Playboy to see if it comes up. I do, that's how I find everything.
So I'm going to show you just a little variety of some experiences and memories that people know us for, and that's why we have such loyalty in this market. Because for 10 years, we have had our own fan base that we've cultivated. I have people that have
Playboy Party Bova.
yeah, they just in fact oh you haven't
What?
done this yet.
Like safety mode?
Safety mode.
No,
Say-
no,
say-
no.
I haven't seen safety
Did
mode.
you
No,
not
I
see
haven't
the-
updated the.
We
Flash.
won't be able to do what we wanted to
Aw.
today. Okay,
Cool.
we could only show it on here. Yeah, you have to
Yeah.
remember to do that because I can't show anything in Flash video. So, hold on, I can show it to you here.
Your hair is getting so long, Michelle.
Yeah. Please make sure to note to do that because
Mhm.
it's come up several times in meetings.
So is it because it won't let you play flash video or
It just needs a flash update. That's all.
okay.
Saturdays.
And all right.
You look like your dad.
You look just like
Or a short kid.
Jealous.
Okay.
Okay.
So-
I need to grab. Hold on. I need to make sure. Stop. Pause.
So this was actually, the Bova Playboy Party, and again, just to kind of put things into perspective, and this is, you'll see me kind of get irritated when I ask somebody to do something or try for something. I mean, I expect you to make it happen. Nobody taught me how to call Playboy magazine nationally and convince them to do a party. I mean, I just did it. And in PR and in marketing and in general, anything at this company is you have to have a you can mentality. I'm not looking to be able, you shouldn't expect that somebody could possibly teach you how to do all these creative things. You can't. You need to be able to discover your true potential by we're putting you in an environment where we're asking you to perform, and that's what we expect. And you know what? At the end of this, you may figure out that maybe PR is not for you. Or, what I really love to see and what happens a lot of times is people come to this company You know, they get given these great opportunities to work on these great clients, and they actually see that if you just go out and try, there's amazing things that you can accomplish. I mean, if somebody, if I had to wait for somebody to train me, I couldn't. I've worked with so many different people. I got basically, almost little to zero training. I got training on society photos when I got here, but that was it. So the point is that you have to really rub two sticks together and make the electricity happen for your clients in a lot of different ways. Don't expect to just, the agency needs to tell me, they need to tell me what to do, they need to, no, you're gonna learn a couple of protocols that's really important to us in terms of communication, but the rest of the magic is about you. And you need to push yourself to learn as much, to do as much. What are we doing? Okay. All right, so just to so this was
Genius.
there you go.
Where are we, guys? Where is this place?
Boba.
Boba's my last name.
We're in Boca.
South Beach to Boca.
Boba in Boca Raton.
I'm Michelle Sudri, and I'm publicist for Restaurante Boba, the hottest restaurant in Boca Raton.
We wanted a restaurant to represent our name and our passion for the restaurant and hospitality business.
Boba is a $5.5 million restaurant lounge. We're #1 in the area right now. There's nothing like it.
And here we are at Boba in Boca Raton.
We got a ton of celebrities that come to us. It's a super chic restaurant designed by Michael Brochet. Okay. We had no celebrities that came to us until I started marketing it. Okay?
You
so
say
that
they will come.
Right? They came, then they came.
what I was doing, I was also very much an innovator in the sense of nobody was using video for events. Nobody, and this is part of like my concept. The next thing that I'm going to be working on for the agency is Gap TV. Okay, so all of our event videos are going to be turned into Gap TV. But the point is that, messaging is a huge part. Creating the perception of something great is a huge part of being able to do it. Now, of course, I did have really great quality people, like even driving in on limos from Miami and buying like 4 bottles of Cristal a pop. And we did eventually get, it was amazing because it was something that was so electric, that Donnie Deutsch was a regular at High Society when he'd fly into town and I'd speak to him. And he was like, oh, this is great, this is a great party. But it was zero. If I tell you, if I ever gave up, I would have done none of this because so many people would have given up. I mean, standing around for 13 weeks in an empty room when you got entertainment and bands and people and just that sense of defeat, is something that the majority of people quit. But I didn't quit. And that's exactly the reason that, this company is so successful because we don't quit on our clients and we don't quit on making them successful. There's always a way. There's always a way. There's never a client that you can't perform for. The owners are Tony and Lori Bova.
Tonight is erotica night.
We are hosting Boca Raton's first ever Playboy party.
And as you can tell, it's pretty erotic.
So we call this erotica.
Playmates, booty shorts, lingerie. There's a lot of older gentlemen. Everyone very sexy, sensual. A lot of girls with a lot of blonde hair. We are having a good time in Boca Raton, living it up South Florida style.
Is this your favorite lingerie?
Yes, it is.
Is that a special order just for tonight?
This was.
This is what we're wearing. I'm Miss August. I was the centerfold for the month of August in 2006. We're having fun. We're partying with some chi at Boba and Boca. It's awesome.
Tell us about the experience of being a playmate.
I'm not a playmate, so I wouldn't know. I have no idea.
Oh, wow.
Kickboxing. I'm trying to get a drink.
We have a super upscale upscale crowd.
Very upscale, very trendy. It seems that there's a lot of money in here. We've got some good-looking women here and some good-looking guys.
This place is gorgeous. And it's so chic and it's just beautiful.
We have great money people.